Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know, from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars. Topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
And welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and I am your host, Jesse Tapia. All right, it's been a while. It's been a week since we did this show, actually. I had a couple of personal issues come in, so that's why we haven't been able to do the show lately, but nonetheless, I'm back, and we're back. All right, so nonetheless, since I've been gone, we've had a few playoff series end. All right. And honestly, I don't think we got a chance to talk about the Rockets Jazz series at all. I mean, Philly and Boston, their series ended on Wednesday, I believe it was. Yeah, on Wednesday. So yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about much of them. And it's too late. I mean, we're already into game one of the Eastern Conference Finals, so I guess it's too late to recap those. But later today, or later for the show, we will be talking about some of the teams that got bounced in the second round, okay? The Raptors, I mean, they fired Dwayne Casey, which I think is just a ridiculous move. All right, the process, I mean, I think Philly, they just tweeted season. It was a great season. Some might say it's the ending. Some might say it's the beginning. Yeah, technically not, but I get what you're saying there, and I do agree with it. All right, we got the Jazz, and then who else? Oh, yeah, and the Pelicans. So we'll be talking about those teams, few of them. We'll probably do that in the third segment. Okay, for this first segment, we're going to go over yesterday's game between the Celtics and Cavs. All right, if you read the title, you know pretty much what I'm going to be talking about for the first segment. Second segment, we're going to be previewing Warriors-Rockets. We got that game going on tonight. All right, and then for the fourth segment, I've been seeing a whole lot of hot takes about Kyrie Irving. Okay, are the Celtics better off with him? Does he really affect wins and losses? Is he gonna help this team improve when he gets back? It's just a bunch of ridiculous takes. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about that for the fourth segment, and we're gonna talk through it. Okay, I'm not like stuck or anything like that on one side of the argument of whether or not he is good for the Celtics, or they're better off without him, or they don't need him. All right, so we're going to talk through it and pretty much get to an end point with it, okay? Because, I mean, now you got guys like Terry Rozier playing well, Jason Tatum playing well. So I see it. People are starting to say, oh, yeah, the Celtics, they're not undermanned. They just got great players. They don't even need Kyrie Irving. Not so fast, all right? So let's calm down on that. But nonetheless, let's get started with the game we had going on yesterday, okay? So going into this Cavs-Celtics series, just from what I saw, okay, you might have saw different or whatever, but I figured everyone thought Cavs are going to win this series in 5 games, okay? Boston's a nice story. Beat Milwaukee, no one expected him to. Beat Philly, no one expected him to. But nonetheless, now you're playing the King. Now you're playing his team, okay? And given LeBron's little run in the playoffs so far, which, I mean, you could argue, I mean, if you want to go wins and losses, I guess that's a whole lot, like it's a whole different story. But nonetheless, this is probably one of his best playoff runs of all time, okay? And I know he didn't play well yesterday. We're going to get into that. But nonetheless, I mean, this little run he's had so far in the playoffs has been, like, it's honestly I've always thought, like, yeah, LeBron's probably the best of all time. But this little run that he's been on kind of just proves it for me, I guess. And everyone's got their opinion on it. I feel like that argument is just bigger than ever now. I mean, with Jordan and LeBron. And every now and then you get that Kobe fan. Oh, no, Kobe's the best. No, Kobe. For me, LeBron passed Kobe, like, years ago. All right, that's just my opinion, and I know someone's yelling at their car because of the fact that I just said that, but it's just my opinion, all right? You got your opinion as to why Kobe's better, I got my opinion as to why LeBron's better, okay? But nonetheless, let's talk about the game. So, yeah, game one, like I said, everyone was expecting Cleveland to come out and win. Probably have them win in 5 games. And by the way, even though Celtics did win yesterday, I do have them winning this series in 7 games. So I'm just going to put that out there, and I'll make my prediction for the Western Conference Final Series in the next segment. But nonetheless, yes, I did have Boston winning in 7. That was my pick before the game even started, all right? It wouldn't have made a difference even if Cleveland won. But nonetheless, yeah, I got Boston winning in 7. They took game 1. They won. Pretty much just dominated from start to finish. I mean, got out to a big run in the first quarter, ended up finishing the first quarter up 36-18, and just really didn't look back. I mean, they had a terrible third quarter, but nonetheless, started the fourth quarter on a 7-0 run and pretty much put the game away there. So, yeah, the Celtics won this one, 108-83 for the Cavs. I mean, no one shot the ball well at all, okay, LeBron included. Probably had his worst playoff game. I think this was his worst playoff game since Game 4 last year against Boston, so there's that. But nonetheless, yeah, LeBron, he had only 15 points, was a minus 32, which was a team worst, but I do think that's a little skewed because of the fact that, I mean, he is on the floor for most of the game. I think, yeah, he played the most minutes out of everyone, so plus minus is a weird stat. I mean, sometimes you could tell, you can use it sometimes as yeah, that's a real stat. Sometimes that doesn't tell the whole story. So, I feel like this minus 32, yeah, I'm not going to go out and say, LeBron was, he was bad yesterday, but I'm not going to say it was his fault. All right, but nonetheless, yeah, he was a minus 32. He did have 2 blocks, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, like I said, 15 points. He shot 5 of 16, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. Kevin Love, he didn't have a good game, really, either. He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. George Hill had 5 points, shot 2 of 4, no rebounds, no assists. That's not really ideal from your point guard. Kyle Korver had 5 points, 5 rebounds, shot 2 of 6, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. J.R. Smith couldn't shoot. He only shot 2 of 9 from the field, didn't hit a 3. Had 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist off the bench. You had Jeff Green, who played 20 minutes. I mean, didn't really get too involved. Was only 1 of 3 from the field. Finished with 6 points because he had 4 free throws made. Tristan Thompson played 21 minutes. He had 8 points, 11 rebounds, shot 4 of 6. Jordan Clarkson, he played 16 minutes off the bench. He had 10 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 11, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. And then Rodney Hood got some minutes in this one, all right? He played 19 minutes. That was the third most off the bench, all right, behind Jeff Green with 20 and Tristan Thompson with 21, like I said. Rodney Hood finished with 11 points, 2 assists, shot 5 of 12, 0 of 2 from the three-point line, all right? The Cavs shot 31 of 86 from the field, which was 36%, and then from the three-point line, they shot 4 of 26, which was 15%. Obviously, not really like them there. All right. And then for the Celtics, okay. And I think that with Marcus Morris, his little comments about being the best player out there who can guard LeBron, I think those were taken out of context a little bit. I don't think that Marcus Morris was really talking trash or anything like that, saying pretty much just pumping himself up. But I mean, if you look at it, LeBron's always going to have a good game, except for obviously game 1. But when Morris does guard LeBron's stats tend to go down, okay? And I don't think Morris was really trying to talk trash or anything like that. But of course, I mean, the media loves to misconstrue it in that way. But either way, I mean, he did good, obviously. Like I said, I think when guarding LeBron was 2 of 6 from the field, had 6 points, I think it was, something like that, 1 turnover. So Morris in this game, he had 21 points, was a plus 25, had 10 rebounds, shot 7 of 12, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. He had 2 early fouls, and I was like, maybe he can guard him. But nonetheless, picked it up and played well after that. Al Horford, Cavs had no answer for him. He had 20 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 8 of 10, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Jason Tatum looks like a seasoned vet out there. He had 16 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 6 rebounds, 1 block, shot 6 of 11, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, didn't have the best game. I mean, he shot 40% from the field. I mean, didn't hit a 3 in this one. Wasn't really... I'm not sure if it was Brad Stevens drew up a game plan that kind of put him in the backseat a bit, but nonetheless, he had 8 points, 8 rebounds, or actually 6 rebounds, 8 assists, shot 4 of 10 there. Like I said, didn't hit a 3. Jaylen Brown, who I think right now, okay, I'd say Al Horford probably is the best player on the Celtics. And then after that, people would look to Tatum or maybe Rozier, but I think Jaylen Brown has probably been the second best player for the Celtics during this postseason, if not the best. Actually, I'd say he's the best because Al Horford has kind of had a couple of duds so far in the postseason. Nonetheless, I mean, Horford's a guy where he's been great. But he's had a couple, hasn't been as consistent, all right? Even with Brown dealing with that hamstring injury, I mean, he's been pretty good. He finished this game with 23 points, 8 rebounds, shot 9 of 16, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. I remember last year when the Celtics drafted Jaylen Brown, and I was like, why didn't you draft Chris Dunn? Like, what kind of pick is that? The guy can't shoot. And sure enough, he's been one of the Celtics' best postseason players so far. All right, off the bench, you had Semi Ojeleye, played 15 minutes. His job wasn't to score. It's to go out there and try and guard LeBron. He finished with 3 points, though. Shot 1 of 4 from the field. All right, Aaron Baines played 25 minutes, had 4 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Also had 2 steals on a block, so, I mean, he did a little bit of everything. Shot 2 of 5, and then off the bench, you had Marcus Smart. All right, pretty much not your classic Marcus Smart game, but nonetheless, he had 9 points. Shot 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. Had 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal. All right. Shane Larkin didn't play in this one, and I don't really think he's going to get much time at all. And people are probably thinking, like, why are you bringing up Shane Larkin? But unless Shane Larkin's been getting some minutes so far in the first 2 rounds, and like I said, I just don't see it happening here, just given the fact that there's no real spot for him on the court, all right? He's not really going to be able to guard George Hill, and LeBron does have the ball in his hands more times than not, so there's really, like I said, no use for him. But nonetheless, all right, Celtics won this game in a blowout, 108-83, and now everyone's overreacting, okay? Like I said, I picked the Celtics in 7. But nonetheless, let's pump the brakes a bit, okay? This game isn't surprising. I mean, the only surprising fact is that Boston blew them out, but I figured Boston probably would take game 1, okay? And if we're looking at it, the Celtics do have the better team, okay? Cavs have the best player in all the playoffs, all right? But as far as matchups, the teams go, Celtics by far are better than the Cavs, and it's not close. Okay, so that's why I wasn't surprised by the Celtics winning. Like I said, the blowout, sure, didn't expect that whatsoever. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm winning game 1. I'm not really, okay. And I picked the Celtics in 7. I could have easily said, like, I just told you guys this, that my pick after game 1. I could have easily just changed it to game 5 and no one would have batted an eye, okay. But fact of the matter is, this game was an outlier for the Cavs, okay. And I think both teams' fans are going at it a little bit wrong. Okay, Cavs fans, I can see, still think that they're going to be winning in 5 games. Celtics fans also think that they're going to be winning in 5, when in reality, this is going to be probably the best series out of this one and the Rockets and Warriors series. Okay? LeBron, like I said, this game's an outlier. I expect him in game 2 to come out and probably drop 30 points, maybe even 40. 40 is a little bit of a stretch. I don't expect them to drop 40 against the Celtics because of the fact that they have the best defense in the league. All right, but nonetheless, I do expect them to come out and play well, okay? And they could very well take game 2. I would not be surprised by that at all. But if I'm the Celtics, one thing I liked about Boston was after the game, you didn't see guys saying, oh yeah, we executed, all right, we did everything we wanted there, played well. That wasn't the focus. The focus was, we need to do this better, we need to do that better. I think Brad Stevens did well at the press conference to pretty much show, like, yeah, whatever, we won game 1, but there's still work to be done. Okay, and that's one thing that Boston needs to do is don't get carried away. All right, don't think that you're going to be dominating the Cavs game in and game out. If they do, then we just need to have a whole nother talk about the Celtics. But I don't see that happening. And as far as like their matchup with the Cavs goes, obviously you're not going to be able to stop LeBron like this every game. Like I said, I do expect him to come out and play a whole lot better in game 2. I think the key for Boston in this series is limiting the Kevin Loves. Okay. Making sure a guy like Tristan Thompson doesn't pretty much dominate when he's out there. Okay, because Tristan Thompson pretty much has been a Celtics killer for the last 2 years. All right, and Al Horford killer for that matter. Okay, don't let Kyle Korver hit his shots from 3. Don't let JR get hot. Pretty much limit the guys around LeBron. All right, because you're not stopping LeBron. That's not going to happen. You can only hope to limit him, and even then so, it's going to be tough. Okay, so with the Celtics, stop the guys around him. You do that, you win the series. All right, and as far as what the Cavs need to do, I mean, Ty Lue's already thinking of making a lineup change for game 2, and it's looking like Tristan Thompson will be starting in there. And I think that's going to help Cleveland. That probably might help them win game 2. I'd say right now my pick for game 2 is Cleveland, okay? Just because of the fact that Tristan Thompson, I got to see what the Celtics do with him out there. All right, because even then, so I mean, he played good minutes off the bench and had, nearly a double-double, I think it is. I have to double-check, but yeah, so he had, nearly, so he had 8 points, 11 rebounds, like I said, but it's just a matter of Al Horford really, he's not as physical. He's not the physicality to go up with a guy like Tristan Thompson. I don't think he has the size to out-rebound a guy like Tristan Thompson. Okay? So with Tristan Thompson coming into the lineup on Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday, which, for game 2, all right, I think the Cavs are probably going to roll out of George Hill, Korver, LeBron, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson lineup. All right, J.R. Smith's probably going to be the one that sees the bench. It's going to be Smith or Korver seeing the bench, but I just think that they'll bring out Korver to start in game 2. If I'm the Celtics, for Brad Stevens, I'm thinking they go Rozier, Brown, Tatum, and I figure that they got to roll Baines out there in the starting 5 along with Horford, okay? And as far as the defensive end, I'm not really... I think Baines could hold his own against Tristan Thompson. It's just a matter of out-rebounding the guy. Okay, but what concerns me the most about the Celtics with Tristan Thompson being out there for game 2 is he's going to be the one that guards Al Horford, I believe. Okay? Putting Kevin Love on Aaron Baines, Aaron Baines isn't really much of a offensive powerhouse, so I don't really see that being a problem there. But I do think that Ty Lue is going to put Thompson on Horford. And if not, then what's the point, okay? The key to beating the Celtics is stopping Horford. We've seen that so far in this playoff or in this postseason. But nonetheless, that's why I guess I got to go with the Cavs for game 2. It's just a matter of I don't think Horford's going to be as active on the offensive end with Tristan Thompson on him. And like I said, if Ty Lue doesn't put Tristan Thompson or have Tristan Thompson defend Horford, then it's meaningless. So we'll see. But nonetheless, let's not overreact. The series is still going to go 7 games for me here. All right, I don't think the Celtics are going to blow out the Cavs or sweep them or anything like that. I don't think the Cavs are going to win in 5 by any means. Okay, so we'll see what ends up happening. Don't expect LeBron to come out and stink it up like he did yesterday. And I think the Cavs, they are going to come out and shoot better, but what we saw with Philly and Milwaukee is that the Celtics defense, you're going to be below average whatever you do as far as on the offensive end. So we'll see if they're able to pick it up. But nonetheless, that's all I got to say about that. Next up, we're going to be talking Houston Golden State, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We spent that first segment just talking Celtics Cavs for the first segment. We spent like 16 minutes, I think, on that segment. So we did that. And now we're going to be talking Warriors Rockets. All right. And for this series, I see people are saying, oh, this is like obviously it's not the actual NBA Finals. Like, this is their NBA Finals. Okay, Warriors Rockets. And I see why. Okay, James Harden, MVP finally this season. Well, he hasn't officially gotten it, but anyway, it'd be a travesty if James Harden did not win MVP this year. Okay, I'm sure LeBron fans, or there's people out there who want LeBron, who think LeBron should win it, and you could make that argument. If anything, you could probably win that argument. Okay, fact of the matter is, though, James Harden is on technically the number 1 team in the West. Okay, and has had a great season, so I have no problem with Harden getting it. I think he should get it, and I think if he doesn't, then that's a problem, okay? I'll always say, if Russell Westbrook averaged 2 less assists or 2 less rebounds last season, or I had to double check, but that's kind of what I've been throwing out there as far as his averages and stuff. If he averaged 3 less, 2 less, or whatever at anything, rebounds or assists, James Harden wins the MVP last year, okay? So, he's got to win it this year, right? Right. All right, so with the Rockets, this year, they've pretty much emerged as probably the best team to have a chance to beat Golden State since Golden State became a powerhouse. Okay. And if we're being real here, this Rockets team is better than that Cavs team that beat the... Are they? That Cavs team that beat the Warriors, I mean... Fact of the matter is, I mean, does Cleveland win that championship if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended? All right, I mean, Cleveland was already down 3-1. Okay? If Draymond Green doesn't go down, I mean, you have to assume that Golden State takes care of business, right? They were already about to. No Draymond Green, which is a problem for the Warriors because he is pretty much... He's like what Al Horford is to the Celtics. He's not flashy or anything like that, but he is the glue guy. He is the guy where you need him to play well in order for your team to have the best chance to win. All right. So he's out for Game 5. Cavs pick up that one. You're going back to Cleveland, okay? Home court in the NBA playoffs is something special. Cleveland, of course, gets that one, and then Game 7 goes to anyone else. So, yeah, I think I am going to stick with my whole, this Rockets team is better than that Cavs team. Okay, and I'm not going to go out and say that Cavs only won because Draymond Green got suspended or whatever, because that's just cheap a little bit, because, I mean, the Warriors could have easily won, or not easily, could have won Game 6 or Game 7. But they didn't, all right? But nonetheless here, I mean, I got to go with the Rockets as far as being the better team, all right? I mean, you got Chris Paul, who's having a great year, okay? Played well so far in the playoffs. James Harden, who has pretty much been doing his thing all season long and in the playoffs, which is a first for both players. I mean, Chris Paul, this is going to be the first time he's ever in the Western Conference Finals. And for James Harden, it's a matter of the guy just doesn't show up when it matters most in the playoffs. But that hasn't really been the case, and it hasn't really needed to be the case here. I mean, I'm almost positive that they beat the Jazz in 5. Yeah, they beat the Jazz in 5. I really have to double check that. But nonetheless, they beat the Jazz in 5 and the Timberwolves in 5. So he hasn't really had that big moment where pretty much it's an elimination game. You got to win. Okay, and that game could come in this series. All right, but nonetheless, I mean, the Rockets have looked good. Clint Capella's pretty much driving up the price as far as the contract he's going to be getting soon. Okay, like I said, Chris Paul, James Harden been playing well. PJ Tucker's been having a nice little playoff run, and then the bench has been doing well. Okay, and then we got the Warriors where, I mean, just dominant. Absolutely dominant. Okay, beat the Spurs in 5 without Steph. Beat the Pelicans in 5 with Steph. All right. And now it's just a matter of, can this Rockets team knock off this Warriors team? All right. And like I said, people were saying, oh, yeah, this is their NBA Finals, because, I mean, I'm under the impression that whoever makes it out of this Cavs-Celtics series is going to get swept by the Warriors. Okay, and I think I just gave away my pick there. All right, for this Rockets-Warriors series, believe it or not, given how well Houston has played, I do have the Warriors winning this series in 5 games. Okay. And people are, like I said, it's probably 2 takes there. All right, I got Rockets fans mad at me today, and I got Kobe fans mad at me today. All right, but nonetheless, I mean, yeah, the Rockets have been a great team. Yes, they finished as the 1 seed in the Western Conference, and yeah, they're actually favored tonight. Okay, they're favored by 1.5 against the Warriors. I can't remember the last time the Warriors weren't favored in a game. All right. And, I mean, Vegas, maybe they're just a little bit happy because of the fact that gambling is now legal. Sports betting is now legal in the United States. But nonetheless, I mean, just the Rockets, they don't move the needle for me. Okay? Just specifically against the Warriors. Okay? Any other team, sure, I'll take Houston, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. But against the Warriors, I just think that Houston has this way they play. Okay? Get the 3 in the air, get to the line. All right? And play fast. I don't think the Rockets really have a plan B. Okay? The Rockets have had to play the Timberwolves and the Jazz. They don't come close to the Warriors or to the type of team they are. So as far as the Rockets winning both their series in 5 games, I mean, that does nothing for me. All right? It doesn't. Okay? People are going to say, oh, yeah, they've looked great. Who cares? They were supposed to beat the Jazz and Timberwolves that way. They did their job. Okay? As with the Warriors, but it's just well, with the Warriors, I mean, I would say that the Pelicans were, given how they played, were better than the Jazz and Timberwolves, and I would have took the Pelicans if they would have had a series against the Thunder in the first round. And I'm only saying that because of the fact that you could make the argument that maybe the Jazz were better. All right, but nonetheless, I mean, I will take the Pelicans over all those teams. Warriors chopped them up in 5 games. Okay. So now it's just a matter of, I don't care what the Rockets have done. I honestly don't care what the Warriors have done, but it's a matter of how are you going to stop? Who's going to guard Kevin Durant? Okay. And if you're a Rockets fan, please don't tell me that PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza popped into your head. Okay. Really? You really think that they're going to be able to guard Kevin Durant? Come on. All right. And with Steph, I mean, it's a matter of he's had his way going up against Chris Paul. So that's not really, I don't see Chris Paul really limiting Steph. Okay. Clay, he's going to get his. And Draymond's not really an offensive force. You more so got to worry about him doing the intangible stuff. All right, putting up assists, getting rebounds, getting blocks, steals, everything. Okay? And if I'm the Warriors, you might put Clay or Draymond on James Harden. Okay? And if Draymond can move around enough and be quick enough on his feet to guard a guy like James Harden, then do that. All right? James Harden is the key, obviously, for the Warriors winning the series. If you stop him, you win. Okay? I think Chris Paul is going to be fine in this series. It's a matter of, I don't think he's the most important player for the Rockets. All right? So, I mean, even here, people probably like, how could you pick the Warriors in 5? I mean, if anything, pick them in 6 or in 7. I just don't think that with the way the Rockets play is going to be, like, it'll probably... We'll see stretches of it where it works, but it's a matter of, it's kind of like the Warriors' own game. You're playing them at their own game. Okay, the Warriors have no problem going back and forth, running up and down the court, matching you 3 after 3, or even getting to the line. But it's a matter of, what's the Rockets' plan B if it doesn't work? Okay? I don't think they have one. I think with the way the Rockets have been playing, it's just a matter of, this is it. They're going to live and die by the way they play right now. Warriors got plan B, they got plan C, they got plan D, and I also think that the Warriors bench is better than the Rockets, okay? I like Gerald Green, and I like Eric Gordon, okay? But it's just a matter of, I like Livingston a whole lot more. I think Quick's been playing well. And then you got your veterans, David West, and who else? They got David West. Haven't really been playing with centers this year. They had Jordan Bell, JaVale McGee, and Zaza Pachulia, who is really public enemy number 1 for me in this league. But nonetheless, I just think that just matching up, starting 5, I give it to the Warriors. Bench, I give it to the Warriors. Okay, this Rockets team, yes, they've been good, but they just don't really impress me going up against the Warriors. Okay, the Warriors can go mid-range, they can drive it and all that. That's not the Rockets game. Okay, so as far as what's going on, it's just like I said, I don't think the Rockets have a plan B. All right. I think the Warriors are just too good of a team right now. This Warriors team that we've been seeing the last few years, this little dynasty, it's going to become a dynasty if they end up winning the title, which I think they will. This is probably the best team we've ever seen. Okay? People may say the Showtime Lakers, the 86-87 Celtics. I think we're past the point where the 96-97 Bulls were the best team of all time. Okay, and for you, if you think that the 96-97 Bulls were better than the Showtime Lakers and Boston Celtics, then you probably should think that the Warriors were better than that 96-97 Bulls team. All right. So, right now, it's just, the Rockets have been good. People are probably expecting a great series, but I think that great series is actually going to be happening over in the Eastern Conference. People, I think, got a little misconstrued. I'm not really sure why everyone thinks that the Cavs were going to roll over the Celtics in this series. Okay, and why the Rockets would put up a fight against the Warriors, because you just gotta and I think it's more so a matter of everyone's gotten tired of maybe the Rockets the Warriors dominating for so long, dominating the Cavs, everyone else that they played. So they see a team like the Rockets who goes 65-17, 65-17 this season. All right, ends up finishing as the 1 seed. People are like, oh yeah, this is it, this is that team, because they're tired of it. Everyone's tired of the Warriors being so dominant, but me. It's just a matter of, I'm not going to really let that get in the way. If you look, the Warriors are still the best team in the league. All right? So I got the Warriors winning in 5. Okay, Rockets fans, you could be mad at me. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. We'll see. All right? Definitely going to be watching that game tonight. And watching the game tonight is going to tell me a lot about how this series is going to go. Okay? So we'll see. But nonetheless, like I said, I got Warriors in 5 here. It means I got a Warriors-Celtics finals. Okay? And the Celtics maybe could get a game against the Warriors if they ended up meeting in the finals. But nonetheless, I just don't see that happening. I could see it happening. That's it. Just the game. I don't see the series going more than 5 is what I should have said. All right. So there's that. Next up, we're going to be talking about the teams who got bounced out in the playoffs. Okay. Philly, Toronto, the Jazz, Pelicans. So we'll be doing that. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. So far today, we've talked about the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. Well, we previewed Western Conference Finals series. All right, we talked about Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Celtics blew out the Cavs. And then, like I said, for the Western Conference Finals, I got the Warriors winning that series in 5 games. Okay? And maybe I'm just not, like, I just haven't seen really what the Rockets could do to beat the Warriors, but it's just a matter of I just don't see it happening. So we'll see, but nonetheless, so that's my pick. All right, I got Celtics in 7, Warriors in 5. All right, people were expecting this one to be some great series. I just don't see it, okay? Maybe you could talk me out of it if you could, be my guest. All right, but I do think that series over in the East is going to be a whole lot more competitive than this one, okay? And like I said, Rockets have been a great team, 65-17 this year, number 1 seed, but it's not enough. It's just not enough for me. I just don't think that the way they play is going to be good enough to beat the Warriors 4 times, okay? Let alone twice. So we'll see. But nonetheless, for this segment, we're going to talk about the teams who got bounced in the second round, okay? We got the Sixers, the Jazz, Pelicans, Raptors. All right, let's start off with the Raptors. I think on last Monday's show, I should say, Dwayne Casey wasn't fired yet. Talked about how the Raptors would be making a mistake if they did. And sure enough, Dwayne Casey is now fired. Okay, looking like he could end up in Orlando if he hasn't already. But nonetheless, I mean, the Raptors getting rid of Dwayne Casey was a panic move, and it was the wrong move for me. Okay, I understand that the Raptors fans, and I think that's more so where this firing is coming from, the Raptors fans. All right, I understand that the front office is the one who has to do it, but the front office will listen to the fans, okay, because they're the one who buy tickets. They're the ones who buy the merchandise, okay? But it's a matter of, obviously, fans weren't happy about the fact that LeBron owns their city, okay? It's true. LeBron pretty much owns real estate in all of those guys' heads. All right, it's ridiculous how they couldn't get one game against the Cavs. All right, and one thing I've noticed too is the fact that maybe we overhyped the Raptors a bit. Okay, I bought into that hype. I'm not gonna lie, I did. Hand up, I picked the Raptors to win that Cavs series. Okay, let alone I picked them in 6 games. All right, isn't that a little ridiculous by me? I think it is. All right, so that's I got that one totally wrong. All right. Toronto, I believed in you guys. You guys let me down. But nonetheless, after the series, I wasn't under the impression, oh yeah, they need to fire Dwayne Casey. It's his fault. No, not at all. Okay, that series was on the players. People were saying, oh, why didn't he double LeBron? Yeah, let's go double LeBron so Kevin Love could have an open corner 3, or Kyle Korver could just light us up. Okay, doubling LeBron is not the answer. Okay, that hasn't been the answer if you've been paying attention. Okay, that's cheap. All right, just going out and say, oh yeah, they need to double LeBron. Like, are you serious? Have you not watched the guy over his career? Doubling LeBron is just going to leave someone else open. It's going to allow LeBron to pretty much just make some other plays. All right, so the whole, Dwayne Casey didn't double LeBron, so he deserves to be fired. No. Okay, let's be smarter than that. All right, like I said, this one's on the players. It's on DeMar DeRozan. I'm not going to put too much on Kyle Lowry. All right, he only did put up 5 points in game 4? But nonetheless, that's an outlier game. Okay. He played well throughout the playoffs, and it stinks because of the fact that no one's going to talk about it. Okay? The same narrative next year when the Raptors make the playoffs is going to be, how's Kyle Lowry going to do? Okay? When in reality, he played great this postseason run. Okay? Before the season, or before the postseason, I was one of those where it's like, it all depends on what Kyle Lowry can do. The guy played well. You can't ask nothing more of him. He did his job. Okay? And like I said, I feel bad because no one's ever going to talk about it. DeMar DeRozan, surprisingly enough, is the one who didn't show up. Okay? And it might be a little crazy, but I was all for trading either Lowry or DeRozan and keeping Dwayne Casey. See what you can get for those guys. Okay? But nonetheless, now, I mean, it's just a matter of the way I see it in this league, there aren't too many great coaches. Okay? Let's go down the line here. I mean, in the East, you got Brad Stevens. You had Dwayne Casey. Okay. I thought the Pacers coach did a fine job. And then you got Spoelstra. That's just about it. That's about 4 guys right there. Brett Brown. Give me another year on him. Okay. Over in the West, I don't think that Mike D'Antoni is on the level of a Brad Stevens or anyone like that. All right. Popovich, a great coach. Okay. Kerr, I think, yeah, you could put him up there. Okay. And I think that's pretty much, and Quinn Snyder. Okay, so Snyder, Popovich, and Kerr. Those are the 3 great coaches in the West. I think in the East, I only named Stevens, Casey, which is 5. All right. Indiana's. And then Spoelstra. So I think, honestly, in my opinion, there's only about 7 really good coaches in this league. Okay? The Raptors let one go. And if Dwayne Casey, like I said, I have to double check whether or not he actually did end up, because I know they were getting close or whatever, the Magic and Dwayne Casey, as far as making him the head coach. But nonetheless, if that does end up happening, Magic could be a good team in the next couple of years. All right? So as far as the Raptors go, it looks like they're looking at Mike Budenholzer, the old Atlanta coach. Didn't really move the needle for me there. Okay. I think the Raptors front office might have set this team back a bit, and I don't think that they're going to be as good, okay, as they were this season. I think they're going to take a step back, so we'll see. But nonetheless, there's that. Like I said, don't agree at all with them getting rid of him. But nonetheless, it happened, okay? Then we got the Utah Jazz. If I'm the Jazz, I'm extremely excited. We lost Gordon Hayward, George Hill, probably our 2 best offensive players last season. Okay? You could argue that Joe Ingles was probably the 2nd best offensive player on the Jazz last year, but I don't feel like arguing it because of the matter of they don't play, or George Hill didn't play there anymore, so it doesn't really matter to me. But nonetheless, okay, I think that the 12th pick, they take Donovan Mitchell. 14th, was it the 14th pick? I think it was the 14th pick. Either way, Jazz take Donovan Mitchell. Okay? There's not too many superstars that get taken in the mid-teen picks. Okay? Terry Rozier, I think, got taken with the 19th. Yeah, got taken with the 19th pick by the Celtics. He hadn't really come into his own until this season. All right? Showed flashes the last couple of years, but nonetheless didn't come into his own until now. Okay? But nonetheless, I mean, Donovan Mitchell already looks like he's going to be a future superstar. He's close already. He led that team. He's a rookie, and he led the Jazz to where they were. Okay? If you're a Jazz fan, you're just frustrated over them losing to the Rockets in 5 games. I mean, that's tough. All right? If I'm a Jazz fan, I love the way the season went down. All right? Yeah, it stinks to lose in the playoffs, but nonetheless, you won a series. All right? You beat Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. Not bad. All right? You got one of the best coaches in the league, if not probably a top 3 coach. Stevens, Pop, Spoelstra, then I'll take Snyder. All right? Yeah, I'll do it that way. I really like Spoelstra too. All right, I'm not a Heat fan or anything like that, but I think, just the way Spoelstra has. Let me say this, okay? With LeBron, the big 3 in Miami breaking up and all that, Heat could have went down. All right, and it could have been over. All right, but nonetheless, he still got him competing. Okay, so I do like Spoelstra. But nonetheless, if I'm the Jazz, I mean, you got to be excited. Donovan Mitchell, he can only get better from here. Okay, so with the Jazz, I mean, they're going to be a top 4 team possibly next year. That's a way too early prediction, but I wouldn't put it past them. Okay, Joe Ingles, the most underrated player in the league. Rudy Gobert, probably one of the most underrated rim protectors for some reason, which is ridiculous. All right, didn't really get talked about too much as far as being a star center. All right, and then you got like guys like Ricky Rubio or whatever. Ricky Rubio, I don't really see as a guy who's going to be there too long, much longer. So we'll see. All right, like I said, if I'm the Jazz, I mean, nothing to worry about. They're nowhere to go but up. Pelicans, I don't know. Question is, what do you do with Boogie? You going to try and bring him back, or are you going to let him go? Okay, Rondo's getting older. Rondo only had a 1-year deal with the Pelicans. I don't know why I drew a blank about the team I'm talking about, but he only had a 1-year deal. You're going to bring him back? Okay. Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis are players you could build around. But it's just a matter of, I'm not really going to go out and say that they're a better team without DeMarcus Cousins. Okay. But your team played well since he went down. Okay. So do you bring him back? Who knows? They got to fix up the bench. And I like Etuan more, but I think they need an upgrade at that spot too. So we'll see what ends up going on there. I mean, Pelicans are a team where I don't think would they finish 6th this year? I think they'll be in that range again next year. Then we got the process. All right, 76ers. If I'm Philly, process is looking like it's starting to end. All right, looks like we're going to hit our final result here. Okay, a lot of them thought that they'd be beating the Celtics. I wasn't one of those people by any means. All right, I thought the Sixers were too young. Yes, they were playing great, but nonetheless, I'll take Brad Stevens over Brett Brown any day of the week. Sure enough, that's what happened. Okay, now it's a matter of, can LeBron come to complete the process? That's what they're looking for. And I'm going to say this, okay? They don't need LeBron. Of course, any team would love to have him. All right? Any team. LeBron's going to make you an instant championship contender. But I think the Sixers can get to that point without him. Okay? They kind of cut the line with LeBron, and I have no problem with them bringing in LeBron. I'm not one of those guys who was, you need to do it the right way, because there is no right or wrong way as far as going to win a championship. If you have an opportunity to go out and get the best player, you do that, okay? I don't hate Kevin Durant for going to the Warriors. I don't hate the Warriors for signing Kevin Durant at all. All right? The whole object of being the best team in the NBA and winning a championship is to be the best team in the NBA and doing whatever you can to be that team. So I have no problem with it. But like I said, I mean, as far as the Sixers go, LeBron's kind of a luxury at this point. All right? They miss out on LeBron, nothing changes. If anything, they get better. Now we're going to see what Markelle Fultz could do next season. All right? Ben Simmons is going to be working on his jump shot. And don't expect Ben Simmons' jump shot to be fixed this offseason, because that's not going to be the case. I mean, the dude literally could not shoot this year. All right? And Joel Embiid, first healthy season, he looked great. I think he's a top 5 center already. So if I'm the Sixers, I mean, we get LeBron, you guys get LeBron, perfect. And I said we there, but I'm not a Sixers fan. Okay, I caught myself. I mean, talking as far as their perspective. I promise you guys, I'm not a Sixers fan by any means. All right, but if they get LeBron, perfect. Finals contender. You don't? Eastern Conference contender? Maybe even still get to the finals. Who knows? So, I mean, the only teams I'm really worried about right now as far as the teams who lost in the second round are the Pelicans and Raptors. Jazz, Sixers, they're set up. So, we'll see what ends up happening. But next up, we're going to be talking about this whole Kyrie Irving thing. I mean, I saw people were saying that Cavs got to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. Celtics got to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk through it and see what happens. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. So far today, we've talked Celtics-Cavs Game 1, first segment. We previewed Warriors-Rockets. All right, I got the Warriors winning in 5. Sorry, Rockets fans, but I think I'm going to be right on that one. All right. I have been wrong, though, okay? Let's not act like I didn't make a Raptors in 6 prediction against the Cavs in the last round. Okay. And I got the Celtics winning in 7. So there's that. Third segment, we talked about the teams who lost in the second round. Sixers, Jazz, they're fine. They're good to go. Nowhere to go but up now. All right. Pelicans, Raptors, they kind of scare me for next season, so we'll see. But for this segment, okay, I've been seeing way too many hot takes. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, from that Celtics-Cavs Game 1. Like, it is ridiculous. Okay, the Celtics blowing out the Cavs in Game 1 was the worst possible thing that could happen for me because of the fact that now I got to see all this. Okay, you got guys like Chris Broussard pretty much just trying to strike up the narrative of, is Kyrie Irving maybe, possibly, who knows, a little bit frustrated at the fact that the Cavs or the Celtics are doing so well good without him. Okay, if you've been paying attention to him at all so far in this postseason run the Celtics have had, if anything, he's their biggest cheerleader. Okay? Like, it is absolutely ridiculous to me, the fact that they are trying to push that narrative. Also trying to push the narrative of, are the Celtics better off without Kyrie Irving? Does Kyrie Irving really affect them in any way coming in? Okay? Come on. That's lazy right there. Okay? And I'm starting to see with Gordon Hayward too. I know it's not like the bigger guys, but I've seen some people go out and say that Jason Tatum might already be better than Gordon Hayward. Like, let's pump the brakes. Okay, yes, the Celtics team is playing well, but in reality, I mean, they're probably going to get swept if they make it out of this round against the Warriors. Against the Rockets, that's a little bit different story. I think the Celtics could take that series 6 games. I think the Rockets would win the finals. But nonetheless, I think the Celtics could get a couple of games against the Rockets there. Maybe not. All right? Like, because compared to the Warriors, yeah, the Rockets really, for me, have no shot. Like I said, they're losing 5, but the Rockets are still a great team, so I might be underselling them a lot right there. All right, so either way, I'll give the Celtics 5 games against the Rockets, okay? But nonetheless, I mean, this whole, like, they are absolutely trying to bring down Kyrie Irving, okay? Let me tell you guys something. After this season, no matter what happens, Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving will be in that starting 5 for the first regular season game of the season next year. All right. Well, this year, next season. Okay, like, it is just, it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious how they're starting to do this. Okay? You're going to tell me that the Celtics don't need Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward? You're going to tell me that given the way they played, let's say they get past the Cavs, they get swept by the Warriors, that they didn't need a Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward? Okay, if that happens, really? Are we being serious here? Okay? The Celtics team, probably the best in the East. All right? People are going to say the Cavs, but don't get it confused. LeBron James is not a team. Okay, the Cleveland Cavaliers are a team. And their team stinks. Okay? Kevin Love hadn't really done much this postseason. Everyone else, been absent. LeBron's the only reason why they've made it this far. Alright? So like I said, Celtics, best team in the East. Cavs got the best player. That's why they're always making it out here. Alright? But as far as like the whole, is Kyrie Irving mad or maybe could he be frustrated at the success that they're having? I mean, that's quite the hot take right there. Quite. I don't understand it at all. All right. And it's kind of weird. I mean, even like Nick, let's like the Fox Sports guys, like Chris Broussard, Nick Wright, and guys like that. I don't know. They're trying to push that narrative. Okay, Nick Wright, I saw him tweet that the Celtics made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie Irving. The Cavs made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie Irving. Okay, let me tell you this. All right, take away Kyrie Irving. Let's just do it. Okay, if the Celtics are better off without Kyrie Irving, let's just take him away. Let's say him and Gordon Hayward go down game 1. Celtics still making it this far? No. No, they are not. Okay? Because this Jason Tatum that everyone is now seeing hasn't been this Jason Tatum all season. Okay? Jason Tatum probably has picked it up, I'd say, right before the playoffs. Okay? And people would say, oh yeah, isn't that when Kyrie Irving went down? I think it might be. All right? But nonetheless, he just hasn't, and even then so, all right, he just hasn't been who he is now till now. All right, didn't show really. He showed it, flashes of it during the regular season, but it seems like now he's starting to put it all together. Jaylen Brown, yeah, he's been great all year. All right, Horford, he's been good. It's just people are looking at Horford now like, oh wow, where's Horford been all season? Yeah, he's been doing this all year. It's not a surprise at all. Okay. So with this whole, I mean, are the Celtics better without Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward? Let's stop that, please. Okay, because you take away Kyrie for most of the season, Celtics don't do anything. All right? Yes, the Celtics got great players. Yes, Jason Tatum's a future superstar. All right? Yeah, Jaylen Brown could easily be a future superstar also. Okay, but nonetheless, I mean, you're going to tell me that a top 5 point guard and a top 5 small forward wouldn't help the Celtics? They're already better off without him? Really? Are we serious? Okay. Terry Rozier, been great. Okay. Even at one point, I was like, well, maybe you trade Kyrie Irving. And I was only saying that because of the fact that I'm not really too sure what's going on with his knee. But if Kyrie's knee is fine, sorry. All right. Terry Rozier, you've been great, but it's Kyrie Irving. Okay. So, as far as that whole narrative, I mean, that needs to be stopped. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. Okay? It's bad. It's not good sports talk. Okay? But nonetheless, I mean, people were bringing it up. And Gordon Hayward's a top 5 shooting guard when he's healthy, right? Let's go through each conference. East, I mean, no one in the East is better than him or in the Atlantic Division is better than him as far as at the small forward position. All right? Central Division. LeBron James, obviously. Yeah. I'm not sure what to consider Giannis. If he's a 3, then yeah, he's better than Hayward. Southeast Division, nope. All right. And it's so weird talking divisions now because like no one even cares about him anymore. Kevin Durant's better. All right. That's just about it right there. Southwest Division. Yeah, Kawhi, so that's 4. Northwest Division. Paul George, is he a 3 or... Oh, I'll take Gordon Hayward over Paul George. Would I? Gordon Hayward's fringe top 5. Okay? But Kyrie Irving, without a doubt, is a top 5 point guard. Okay? So, the whole, are they better off without him, or do they even need those two? Stop. Please stop. Celtics aren't trading Gordon Hayward, nor should they. That's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life. Okay? If you've made it, you should be ashamed of yourself. Alright? And as far as them not needing Kyrie Irving, let's stop. Let's stop. Oh yeah, they don't need great players. They don't need to add any great players. Sure, tell that to the Warriors, okay? So, I just wanted to talk about that. I just thought that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen not in my life, but it's just, I don't understand how you go out and say that. I don't at all. All right? Celtics, yeah, they've been great. Yeah, they blew out the Cavs game 1. But nonetheless, okay, this team isn't getting more than 2 games against the Rockets or Warriors if they were to meet in the finals. Okay? And I'm using 2 because of the fact that I think they could get 1. 2 is like maybe a game. I don't know. Yeah, they probably don't even get more than 1 against those 2 teams. With Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, totally different story. All right? Imagine the Celtics rolling out a Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Hayward, Tatum, Horford lineup. Doesn't that sound a whole lot better than Rozier, Brown, Tatum, and then your choice at Marcus Morris or Aaron Baines with Horford? Like, just say it out loud. Say it out loud, okay, that the Celtics are better off without Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward. Or they don't need them. Just say that out loud and actually think in depth of it. All right? Look at the lineup. Kyrie, Brown, Hayward, Tatum, Horford. You're going to tell me that lineup's not better than the other one I just mentioned? I mean, come on. Like, just think out loud for a sec. All right? So there's that. That's all I got to talk about. Let's see anything else going on in the NBA world. Like I said, we got game 1 going on tonight. I got the Warriors winning that one. All right? And let's see. Yeah, Bucks, Raptors looking to get Mike Budenholzer. All right, Bucks really need to get this head coaching hire right. If not, I mean, say goodbye to Giannis. And even if they do, I say goodbye to Giannis, okay? Because, yeah, he wants to be that whole, I want to play with this team forever and stuff like that. But someone's going to tell him, yeah, you go play in LA, New York, wherever, a big market, you're going to make so much more money. And that's what it's about in reality, okay? I understand these small market fans and stuff want, oh, yeah, we want the guys who are going to play there forever, want the nitty-gritty guys, but money talks. All right, so we'll see, but we're going to wrap it up here. Celtics beat Cavs game 1. Pump the brakes. That's not overreact. I got Celtics winning in 7 still. Okay, let's see. I got Warriors in 5. We talked about the teams who lost in the second round in the third segment, and then for this one, please stop with the whole Celtics don't need Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward, please, because it's really making my ears bleed, honestly. All right. So, thanks for listening to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll talk to you later, so stay tuned. And like I said, we'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.